how debt and interest in general is always a common denominator during all of these crashes, and specifically back at that time, like I spoke about in that short video on Facebook. But more than that, it was the common person, your shoe shiner, the cab driver, not a cab driver back then, the horseback rider, whoever it was, that were all talking about investing into the stock market. So it kind of like 2017 when Bitcoin spiked up, I was prepared for it to drop, and I've been studying it like on a technical side, technical analysis side. I'm pretty good at charts, at reading them. And then what would scare me on the other side would be there was no institutions back then that were claiming their positions as they are now. For Elon Musk to come out and say, I have $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and then say 2 days later that whatever, he doesn't think too much of Dogecoin or Bitcoin, whatever it was. You brought up Tesla and how it shot up. I think that's how he kind of operates life in general. Mm-hmm. And that's how he brought up. He even says that Tesla is not worth that much. He said that before. And it's weird to see people in this position of power play the pump and dump game. Like, I thought this was all illegal. What do you think about Elon Musk and how he really operates?
Man, it's I think this could be an interesting conversation. I think, personally speaking, I think the rules of enforcement are selective. Right. You look at Elon Musk as a great example. Like, he goes out there and talks about stuff, and nothing happens. And you got, you had the GameStop scenario that happened a couple of weeks ago, right. And those guys went all the way to court, right? Because there was someone else on the other side that lost a lot of money, who was an affluent hedge fund manager. So, you look at the rules and you see, are they equal? I think we can debate that. But going back to your example of 1929, we're kind of there again, right? It was called the Roaring '20s because people were pent up, stuck in home, and they went out and bought a lot of stuff, and the economy boomed. And 100 years later, here we are. We're all stuck in a pandemic. The government has done a great job taking care of the citizens with money. Some may argue it's not enough. Some may argue it's too much, but they're doing whatever they can to get people back in jobs. And we're kind of seeing the same thing happen again. But I think the one thing that we've learned, or I hope the government has learned, that, you don't mess around with interest rates, and you raise them at the wrong time. It makes stuff. I think what makes it here, what's different now is that the interest rate's like virtually zero. Yeah. So we're on the other side of the curve now. So, we'll see how this plays out. I think we have a really interesting ethical debate on who the rules are for. And then that's why I think crypto levels a playing field, right? Right now it's unregulated. There's no real regulators, and they're slowly putting some rules around it. You're starting to see banks get into it. You're starting to see, Elon Musk put some Bitcoin on his treasury balance, right? Because if he's got, let's say $5 billion in the bank, and he's able to buy, 300 cars for that kind of money, just as an example. Mm-hmm. As the car parts get more expensive, that same $5 billion only buys 250 cars. But if he had Bitcoin, he still has 300. That value still retains the same 300 cars. So that's that's the most interesting concept of cryptocurrency, that against, inflation or deflation, it always has the same value. And that's why they put it on. I don't know if you guys follow Michael Saylor from BitStrategy. That guy, I don't know how many billions of dollars of Bitcoin he bought for his company. The city of Miami, allegedly is rumored and saying that we're going to pay our employees in Bitcoin. That's a little bit more irresponsible, but it's everywhere now. It's everywhere. It's a matter of time before we hit regulation, and then
it's not that safe yet.
Yeah, it's not that safe. That's why I always caution people. Like, one of my rules of investing is invest in what you know, and if you don't know it, go get educated on it, and then get in what you know. Like, same thing with the stock market. Right. Everyone's like, "Oh man, the stock market's on fire. I'm gonna go launch a Robinhood account." Awesome, but make sure you know what you're investing in, because you're gonna put your money into something that's hot, and then all of a sudden, you're the one with holding the bag, and everyone else kind of made the opposite trade of you. So
right, which is like the whole pump and dump thing that we were talking about from 1929, and yeah, I think because there is a lot more transparency now with the internet, obviously that kind of changes things from 1929. Information can get travel a lot faster, and we have kind of like these sort of stock market hackers now, like the Wall Street traders. Was it Wall Street Bets?
Wall Street Bets.
they're basically hackers, and it's beautiful what they did. I was worried about, other people being copycats and promoting it on video. It's like, you got to calm down. Like you just said, Elon Musk might be connected enough to get away with a lot of these things, but you should not put your face on Front Street to pump and dump a stock. That is not legal. But the second thing I did think of when Bitcoin was blowing up, in a sense, was Richard Nixon, when he took the dollar off of the gold and was backed by gold. And it's now like my whole life, I didn't realize it is a fiat currency. So it's just like Bitcoin in a sense, where the only reason why we don't think of it that way is because we've seen dollars before in our hands and we can touch it. But Bitcoin, most of us, 99% of us, haven't touched anything worth of as Bitcoin exchange. So that's the other side that like makes me believe in it. I'm just working on debt. I'm trying to clean my debt away right now. I'm being like